Hey, how's it going, guys? Carson back here with another Harry Potter reaction video, and this time it's about to get real. We're in Deathly Hallows mode here, so I guess if Doctor Strange from Infinity War was in this, he'd just say, this is the endgame now, and be dusted away by Voldemort instead of Thanos, I guess. But yeah, basically, what am I expecting from the Deathly Hallows? So from, hearsay and other people, talking to me about this movie, it seems like everything's all fun and games, and then you get to the final book, Deathly Hallows, and apparently just in this one, it's just all-out chaos. Everybody dying. A lot of bad things happening. Voldemort and his crew are just rolling all over everybody. So my predictions is the Order of the Phoenix, as much as I wanted to see more from them, they're just going to show up and get wiped out. It's going to get so bad that there's one lingering plot point I still want to see come back, and that's the whole Hermione can time travel based on what happened at the end of Harry Potter 3, basically. So we haven't got explained where she's got this time-traveling jewel from, and I predict, like, if things get so bad, why wouldn't they just use time travel? Maybe we'll get that answer one way or the other in this one. So my guess is they're going to get to the end, it's going to get so bad, it's going to come down to the final 3 kids versus Voldemort and his whole army, and then time travel. So it's not the greatest idea in the world, obviously, but I could see it happening, and that be like there's going to be a big cliffhanger between part 1 and part 2, I'm predicting as well. But obviously they got to get these Horcruxes, or whatever they're called, the weaknesses of Voldemort, that he kind of one ring to rule them all, like the Sauron power type thing. He put his well-being as power, instead of putting it in one ring, he put in like 7 Horcruxes, and now they got to find these objects, these MacGuffins, and go destroy them, basically, so then they can actually fight Voldemort and not have to worry about him getting resurrected. So, and I'm waiting for that dragon to pop up. So when I went to Universal Studios in Florida, the other big spoilers is just giant dragon outside of Gringotts Bank. So I'm guessing we get to see that dragon in this one finally. I've been looking forward ever since I went to Universal Studios, seeing this big dragon they get to ride on. So, because I got to ride on that ride, it was a lot of fun. So, really looking forward to seeing Horcruxes getting destroyed, dragons destroying things, blowing fire, Mort's fire, and a lot of just anarchy and chaos, basically. Like I said, I like the Order of the Phoenix, but I don't think they're going to fare well whatsoever early on in this movie. So, a lot of bad things are about to happen to Harry and his group of friends here. So I'm going to go find out if any of this stuff gets in. And then there's the whole Snape thing. Like, what is going on with Snape? Thought he was going to be a good guy, and then he kills the ultimate good guy. Meaning he's aligned himself with the bad guys, but some people told me that he may be one of the overall heroes of this tale still. So was he the one who has the real Horcrux that they tried to find at the end of the 6th one that turned out to be a fake? And maybe Dumbledore's like, you know what, just kill me so you can get into the inner circle of Voldemort and really find out all the facts and then just level them, basically. Which seems like a really dumb plan to me, but we'll see. I can't wait to find out, so I'll be right back. Alright, and I'm back, and wow, there's a lot of just item collecting going on. You got Team Harry Potter collecting Horcruxes, well, or just one in this movie, because that's all the progress they made. You got Voldemort looking for the Deathly Hallows, which we find out kind of what the Deathly Hallows are in this movie. Like, death, somehow, there's like a folklore tale where he made 3 items that Voldemort wants to collect to have ultimate power, and he gets 1 item in this movie as well. So overall, I really enjoy this movie as well as the last few, but I just wonder what my overall feedback is going to be once I watch part 2, because I can kind of tell for the first time watching them, like, this part of a whole story instead of just being like beginning, middle, and end like the other Harry Potter movies were. This one definitely felt like it was something a lot more longer and drawn out. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I guess my overall feelings on it will be completely revealed once I watch part 2, which it seems like they saved a lot of things for part 2, because a lot of things I was expecting and predicted in my intro video here, I feel like are still going to happen just now in part 2. I didn't get the dragon in this one. I really want to see a giant dragon, and I was hoping to see a giant dragon in 2 movies and not just one. But nonetheless, instead of a dragon, we got Dobby and Creature, which I'm guessing most of you watching this, if you've watched all of these up until this point, you're like, oh, this is the part where he's going to give Dobby that least valuable player, and he's going to crap more. It's like, listen, I know a lot of Dobby fans came at that second video real hard. There's a big Dobby following, apparently. And now because of this movie, I see why. I am not going to give Dobby my least valuable player. I kind of enjoyed Dobby in this one, I'll be completely honest. He did have me laughing. I was kind of hoping for some hijinks between Dobby and Luna Lovegood once they kind of met and he got a chance to teleport her out of that dungeon. I think there could have been a lot of fun between those two characters, but unfortunately, because these movies keep getting darker and Harry Potter has to take that one last leap out of childhood, the last bastion of his childhood had to bite it in this one. And that was Dobby. Dobby dying in this one, in my opinion, I think it was obviously intentional that him dying was the death of, innocence and childhood, and now he's going into that adulthood, into having to fight Voldemort now, and there's just the last little humorous part of this whole thing is gone going into Deathly Hallows Part 2. So a dark and grim ending. I do respect the franchise for having this like Jar Jar type character. I just could not stand in the second one, to make it a pretty tolerable and kind of almost even overpowered character in this one. Like he could pretty much teleport like Nightcrawler through most of this movie since he's a free creature. So that was kind of cool, but obviously going into the next movies, they don't want to make Harry too overpowered, because I think he's going to start accumulating some weapons pretty quick. But back to like the Horcrux that they had, they found the amulet on big pink evil lady, which everybody hates. And yeah, they pretty much, it's kind of like the Sauron's ring again. Like if they possess it, it turns them into a person they don't want to be. It really gets the anger going, and they're saying things to each other they shouldn't be saying, obviously. So once you have the trio together and they start seeing each other and really exploiting like all those little nitpicks, that drives Ron away, and then you really get the movie, a good brunt of the movie. It just feels like it's just Harry and Hermione for most of it. And it's kind of cool, like, just getting a chance to see, your two biggest characters together on screen for a while. And like, can they really carry this movie on their own? I think overall they did. Which brings me to my most valuable player, and by far in this one, it has to be Hermione. I swear, at this point, she's just a Time Lord, like from Doctor Who. She has a purse with Time Lord technology. She's got like a whole library in there. She has the cure to everything except Dobby stab wounds in there. If it wasn't for her, they wouldn't have made it 15 minutes through this movie. So Hermione has got to get the MVP for this one. She's the most overpowered character up until you kind of see her humbled by Bellatrix toward the very end. But she pretty much had everything stripped away from her at that point, like wands and TARDIS bags and all that stuff. So you can't blame her too much there. But yeah, easily the most valuable player. Like Harry would have just been annihilated instantly without Hermione at that point. My least valuable, like I said, everyone's like, oh, Dobby's coming back. Obviously, he's going to be the least valuable. No, there's no way in this one you can give it to him. I think I got to go Draco Malfoy. I kind of hate saying it because I've been looking forward to his character development through 7 movies now, and he's just kind of turned into this, like, Weasley, no-spine slug through this whole thing. Maybe in the final part, he'll finally do something, but he's just like father's son at this point, and his father is just even he's just degenerated into, you know, what does Voldemort want? Oh, he wants my wand. Oh, I just watched him break my wand, and I'm going to sit here and not cry about it and want to cry about it. So it's just the whole Malfoy family at this point. Their stock is dropping really quick, in my opinion, as the further these movies go on. So maybe Draco at least will have a redeeming quality by the time this is all said and done. Lucius, he's just going to look worse and be more terrible every movie until somebody just wands him out somehow. So yeah, that's got to be my least valuable player, Draco, in this one, because he just did nearly nothing. And he finally even got a spot at the nice table that the bad guys had. I'm going to go ahead and just score this an 8 out of 10. Really did enjoy myself watching this throughout. I enjoyed seeing like this ongoing mystery going on in the visions that Harry's having. But they didn't give you the whole mystery up front, so hopefully it'll all make sense by the end of it. So I did enjoy that stuff, but there were just a couple parts there when they're just kind of hanging out in the forest, like, alright, let's get the story going, guys. I kind of like seeing the character stuff, but once again, we're in that end game. Let's go. Like, we've written out a lot of other characters to just sit in the woods. So let's get the story going. So I got to take it down a point because of just that story structure like that. But overall, I did really enjoy this movie. So hopefully you guys join me next time for the very last entry into me watching these Harry Potters for the first time. But don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. And other than that, big thank you guys for catching this video, and I'll see you next time.